Yes, the snow's caught up with us in Dorset. No detecting in this. So what do? Well, I had an idea. And the clue to the video, apart from what was in the title, you might just be able to hear. We're going to go tumbling. Okay, there's just one thing I want to point out. If I have a really nice coin or an artefact, I just give it a gentle clean and then I don't tamper with it. This is the stuff that you've got laying about in boxes that doesn't look very nice. You haven't thrown it out, but it's just laid there. It's some of those items that can be given a new lease of life and they can look absolutely stunning and good enough for a display. So come and see how I do it. Well, here we have it. The only thing I haven't got here is a little pot of varnish, and you might want to varnish the items at the end of the process and then it stops them from tarnishing. But let's have a look at what we've got. First of all, the items, and I think we've all got stuff like this. They don't look very pretty, but they haven't been thrown out. But, you know, what do you do with them? Well, I'm going to show you what you do with them. Before they go in the tumbler, you need to soak them to get as much of the crud off as will fall away. And you do this by soaking them in a bowl with citric acid crystals. You'll see that you only leave them in there for about 30 minutes and the water will turn just green because it does peel a lot of the stuff off. Then we'll move on to the actual tumble process. But first of all, we'll give these a soak. Okay, just to show you the actual soaking process, so it's just a bowl with enough water in to cover the items. 1 tablespoonful of the citric acid crystals. It's been in there now about 10 minutes and I think you can already see there's a green sludge forming at the bottom, the odd bubbles are coming up, so that's stripping a lot of the rubbish off, ready for the actual polishing within the machine. Well, while that is soaking, I'll just go on to the other items here. There's obviously the barrelling machine. Now this one is called a 3-pound machine, and the 3-pound relates to the capacity within the barrel. You'll need some stainless steel media. This was what was recommended to me, and I'll show you here, and it does work well. There's about, I'd say about 4 different sizes within there, and it's really good for getting into all the little nooks and crannies. You'll also need some burnishing bee liquid soap. This was also what was recommended for me. And how it works, when those items are finished soaking, they're given a rinse, they're put inside the barrel. There's half a pound of the media goes in, half a pound only. 1 teaspoonful of the burnishing bee liquid. Then it's filled with clean water, just so it covers all of the items you're going to clean. And then, this is quite important, when you come to seal it, you obviously don't want this to leak. So what you do is, you make sure that the bottom is on nice and tight, nice and close. You just soak this cap in warm to hot water, hand hot water. That makes it very pliable. And it is a tight fit. And you can push it on one end, press in the middle, and you'll hear the air come out. You might just have heard that. Then you slide it over. If you just try and force it straight on, obviously the air pressure doesn't let you make a really good seal, so you push the air out first and then we place it on there. So we'll come back to this when it's ready to be loaded up. Okay, it's had its 30 minutes. You can see it's turned green, and you can see by it coming off on my fingers it's lifted it all off. So this needs to be rinsed, and after rinsing just make sure that you wash your hands, and then we'll go on to the tumbling process. Okay, we're ready to actually start the process. The items have been soaked and rinsed, they're in the barrel. The ½ pound of the stainless steel media and the teaspoon of the burnishing bee soap's in, just topped up with water to cover the items. This has been put under some warm water to make it more pliable. So we place that on, we get as much air out as we can. There you go, and then we place it on the tumbler. And that's it now. We'll come back in 3 hours. Okay, it's had the 3 hours. Let's see what we've got. Okay, just be careful when you pop the lid, because sometimes the bits of media will be on the top. Like there, there's one, look. You don't want them bouncing all over the floor. Right, we'll get this emptied and see what we've got. Well, here we are, dried off from the tumbler, all cleaned up. I don't know what the video quality's like because I'm recording indoors. Right, a couple of the coins that were shot anyway, they haven't turned out any good. But the rest, if you can see the detail, they've actually come out very well. The buckles, and when you consider there's the horn protector, that's an old one. There's the crotal bell, and there's an old one. I know which ones I would prefer. Strap end, the detail on that, if you can see it, is incredible. Roman coin, which was totally encrusted. Didn't realise there was that detail underneath. And I've also got another lot I put in, and this was pretty grotty stuff. That just looked awful, but that is a Roman brooch, a medieval ring, various buckles, clog clasp, I'll be putting stills up at the end. So basically that is it. Oh, I'll just point this out. This is a gold noble coin weight. And I'll show you the picture that I've got before. You could hardly make out any detail. But that, to me now, has got a new lease of life. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Food for thought. It's like Marmite really. You'll either love it or you'll hate it.